Have you ever gotten off the highway and thought to yourself, nah, I'm not doing that again? Maybe you one of these people who avoid driving on the highway and prefers to drive in the city instead to avoid this stress. If you are in this camp, nothing to be ashamed of. We've all been here. Even experienced drivers have been nervous when they were starting out driving on the highway. So you will eventually get there. It will just take time, patience, and experience. Again, as you know, my channel is a safe space for new drivers, less experienced drivers, and even for seasoned drivers who would like to expand their knowledge. So without further ado, let's kick off this video and talk about how to be less nervous while driving on the highway. And before actually you are able to drive on the highway, you need to merge onto the highway first. Honestly, I can't believe it rained so hard today. But hopefully it's gonna add some ambience into the video and you guys will like it. So the most important thing while you merge into the highway is to actually match the speed of the traffic. If you will learn how to do that, everything else will be a breeze. And let me quickly explain you why. So if you're going too slow, that will mean that some drivers on the highway will end up slowing down to let you in, and you will create a very dangerous situation that can lead easily to an accident. And if you're going too fast, you will end up braking suddenly in front of the cars on the highway. So either way, you want to match the speed of the traffic no matter what to perform a very smooth merge. So let me demonstrate. So I know that the speed limit on this highway is 90 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour. So I will try to match the speed right here. I'm probably gonna go a little slower because it's raining so hard. So now we match the speed of the highway. We do a shoulder check. We make sure everyone is letting us in. And we are on the highway. It's a moderate amount of traffic on the road, so I think it should be applicable to most of the cases for you out there. So some of you would ask me, how do I know if I match the speed of the traffic? And the answer is, it depends. So first of all, you should familiarize yourself with the speed limit on your highways in your local area. Secondly, you have to develop your vision to predict comfortably how fast you're going and how fast other cars are going. And if you're able to do so while you are approaching the highway on the on-ramp, you'll be able to tell if you are matching the speed or not. And by the way, for today's video, for the first time ever on my channel, I added a foot cam. So please let me know in the comments below if you think it's beneficial and improves your viewing experience. We're gonna make another merge later in the video to cement our knowledge, but let's talk about cruising on the highway, which is what we're doing right now. And let's start with the basics. You want to drive in the rightmost lane all the time unless you're passing someone. Especially if you're a new driver or you want to drive slower than the speed limit, or you just want to have a very leisure drive, you want to drive in this lane. And let me quickly explain you why. First of all, it's a law. You have to drive in this lane. So I live in Vancouver, which is in Canada, and in BC, you have to drive in here unless you're passing someone. And this is actually the case for many countries, in European countries, US as well. The other reason is safety. Think about it. When you are driving, let's say in the middle lane over here, you will need to scan in front of you, behind you, on your left, and on your right. And if you're driving in this lane, there's one less variable, which is the right side. You only care what's happening on the left side, in front of you, and from your back. The other thing about cruising is that you want to maintain the same speed. So I chose 90 kilometers per hour when I came into this highway, and now we're driving 80 because the car in front of me is driving a little bit slower. So we are going to overtake them by choosing the passing lane on the left. And yes, while we are on this topic, this lane and this lane are both passing lanes. You use the middle lane to pass the cars on the right, as we are doing right now, and you would use this lane to pass the cars in the middle lane. We are going to talk about passing people later in the video as well. So let me continue talking about cruising. And what I call cruising is basically choosing the speed you want and driving in an according lane. You know, some people would say to you, if you ask them, that if you drive in the rightmost lane, it means you're a grandpa or you're very slow, or some people would make fun of you. Don't listen to these people. They don't know what they're talking about, because it doesn't matter how fast you're going. Even if the speed limit is 90 and you're going 110 and there is no one to pass in front of you, you are still required by law to be in the rightmost lane. And people who actually know how to drive will do that. Your speed doesn't determine the lane you are driving at. Your intent is what matters the most. And rules how to drive on the highways are very simple. You only pass people from the left if you need to pass them. That's it. In all other cases, you are just driving in the rightmost lane. And don't be confused about this highway, because it has lots of lanes over here. As you can see, these two are going to the right. So we are actually driving in the right lane at this moment. If you haven't watched my video from Austria, people in Europe and in Austria in particular are following these rules very, very well. And the reason is that, you know, they get fined really harshly if they don't do that, and someone will notice it. But still, it's just the safest thing to do. And if you're a proper car enthusiast, or people in UK call these people petrol heads, you will just know it's an optimal decision. And by the way, check out this cool bridge that goes from Burnaby to Surrey. Sorry, from New West to Surrey. It's a very, very cool piece of engineering. If you're not from Vancouver and you see it for the first time, I'm jealous of you. So let's say I want to pass this car in front of me. I am showing my turn signal for a couple of seconds, making sure there's no one in the blind spot. I'm making a change of the lane, and when my last wheel has crossed the white dotted line, I turned off my turn signal. And when you have passed all of the vehicles you wanted, so we are going to come back to the passing lane after we pass this Dodge. Let us do that. I want to show you the full process. The rain has come back. We give this car enough room. We again show our turn signal for a couple of seconds. Do a very smooth merge. We don't want to swerve aggressively into the lane while we are changing lanes, because it just makes it much more dangerous. And by the way, we need to exit the highway. So let me quickly show you how it's done. We basically follow the signs to make the right exit. And we start slowing down around here, around the exit ramp. Look out for these signs like this. So this sign says I should be traveling at around 50 kilometers per hour. Let's reduce our speed a little further. And that's basically it. This is very easy to exit the highway. The main thing about exiting the highway is that you want to plan ahead. So the trick to never miss your exit is to use smart online maps, such as Google Maps in this case, or you can use Apple Maps, Waze, whatever one you like. We also would like to look for the specific signs of our exit and basically be present in the moment and kind of pay attention to what's happening on the road, because the worst thing you can do on the highway is to reduce your speed significantly while you are missing the exit and swerve a couple of lanes to the right. And I've seen so much footage on YouTube how it led to very, very dangerous accidents. So let's actually come back to the highway and discuss this further. When we are merging to the highway, again, just make sure you match the speed of the traffic. If you match the speed, all of the other things will be much, much easier. And when I told you about how to change lanes very smoothly, when you are merging onto the highway, you do the same thing. In a very steady and smooth manner, you are changing the lane. I like to explain it to people in another way. Let's say you have a passenger sitting on the right, and you tell them to close their eyes. They should not be able to tell that you just changed lanes. That's how smooth you should be. There should be no lateral force while you're doing so. So now we are approaching the highway. Let's increase our speed very smoothly. Look at my feet, how smooth I'm touching the gas pedal. Let's get to about 90 kilometers per hour. Now we match the speed of the highway, and we are able to merge safely and easily. So while we are cruising, let's talk about safe following distance. You have to maintain a safe following distance from the car in front of you all the time. And I don't like using metrics such as feet or meters, because it doesn't make sense for a normal human being. If I say to you, don't be close to that vehicle at least for 500 feet, how can anyone tell if this is 500 feet or not? I cannot say, and you cannot as well. So what I like to do is to measure it in seconds. So I think you should aim for at least 5-second distance from the car in front of you. To do so, it's very easy. You see you have a speed limit sign. So this Tesla passed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 to 5 seconds. So maybe I should slow down a little bit. Find a reference point such as a sign and count how many seconds you are behind another vehicle. Some new and less experienced drivers would also tell me, how do I avoid being tailgated? I'm afraid of driving on the highway because I will get tailgated all the time. And the answer is, again, simple. Just drive in the rightmost lane. Because if you drive in the rightmost lane, you give people an opportunity to pass you from the left. So they will not end up tailgating you. I'm telling you, there's 1% of a chance people are gonna tailgate you in this lane. Usually people that get tailgated are people that are hogging the passing lane. If you are using the passing lane for not passing and just cruising, you're gonna get tailgated. And you're gonna frustrate lots of people, and you're gonna create a very dangerous situation on the road. And what's more, you will cause a traffic jam. And again, for some of you that thought I was hogging the passing lane just before, these two lanes were merging lanes, so I had to stay in that lane. If you notice some reckless drivers, the easiest thing to do is to avoid them. Try to merge into the lane further from the reckless person. Just be kind of alert all the time and kind of anticipate that you will meet not very adequate drivers. They will not follow the rules I explained to you earlier. Maybe impaired drivers as well. Just be aware of that 24/7 and be ready. For example, in the US and Canada, you might have an HOV lane, which has a solid line right here, as you can see. Learn about it in your local area, but from what I know, in both US and Canada, this lane is designed for cars that have 2 or more people in the vehicle. So for this case, I will slow down for this truck to merge safely. And that's okay. You know, some people tell me, I don't like driving in the rightmost lane because people are merging into the highway, or people are going off the highway and I have to let them go and slow down. But I would say that it's still better and less risky to stay in this lane, because 90% of the time you don't have to worry about something happening on your right side. Another good tip I would like to give you is to learn how people drive in your area. This is very important. Depending on where you're watching this from, people will drive differently. It will widely depend of how much training each driver has to take to actually get their license. It just depends on the culture, so many different variables. So please make sure to learn all of the driving patterns of the drivers around you. This will help you a lot, and eventually you'll become proficient and you will be able to anticipate lots of stuff that will happen on the road. The other thing I wanted to mention is to avoid being in someone else's blind spot. So let's say I'm in a blind spot of this Mercedes, I will try to slow down. So I will avoid unnecessary risk of this person not seeing me and swerving into my lane and potentially hitting my car. The same applies if you see people in your blind spot. If you see someone camping in your blind spot, just accelerate again, slow down, depending on the situation, and you will avoid another bad interaction. Sometimes it's crazy to me that in this kind of case where there's low visibility, it's very wet on the highway, and people are going above the speed limit or driving recklessly. Oh, look, I just missed my exit. And it wasn't on purpose. It's okay to miss your exit. Seriously, nothing really bad happened to me. Okay, I missed my exit, and that's fine. I don't need to try to aggressively swerve into the exit and cut people off. I can just take the next exit, maybe spend a little bit more time to get to my destination, but it's okay. It's better to lose some time than your life. Literally. I wanted to mention another couple of points. First, learn about paid highways in your area. In my area, all highways are basically free, so I don't worry about that too much. But when I was, for example, in Austria a couple weeks ago, in Austria you have to pay for those highways. In the US, there are lots of paid tolls. If you're using Google Maps, I'm not sure about other maps because I haven't tried. There's an option for you to choose to avoid paid highways. So just make sure to do your own research before you hit the highway. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that you want to avoid being tailgated, but at the same time, you don't want to be the driver who tailgates other people. You introduce a very dangerous situation. You are risking your own life, you're risking someone else's life. It's never worth it. Trust me. We all get frustrated on the road. It's very easy to get frustrated because there are lots of bad drivers out there, and that's fine. Oh guys, wow, look at this perfect rainbow. I'm not sure you can see it from my camera, but it looks amazing in real life. It's okay to tell that you're frustrated to your passengers or whatnot, but don't get too emotional. You can focus on some other stuff, like this freaking rainbow. Why is it so beautiful? It's crazy. You can focus on your favorite music, or you can talk to your passengers about some topic you like, about some positive topic. Driving on the highway will become less stressful over time with experience. If you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We're very close to 10,000 subscribers. Honestly, it's just such a great time making these videos for you guys. Hopefully you gained a ton of value from this video. And as always, stay safe out there, keep enjoying the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!